up. Actually, I'm here, I should say who I'm here with today. I'm here with Rod from the ATO, Auditor Rod.
Parks and Wildlife's easiest.
Parks and Wildlife. So we're talking about Collie, and there's been a whole bunch of stuff in Collie that's been built. There was historical stuff in Collie, but Collie was highlighted as one of the trail hubs.
Yeah.
So Arklow has come on board, and there's lots and lots of trail built at our Arklow.
Yeah, there's around 30 k's of trail out there, which is a combination of single track, some of it's old fire road, some of the old school stuff like raised trail, and some newer stuff, and a couple of jumpy sections as well.
Yep.
But really, Arklow's fine, and I like riding there. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's not the Queen kind of place for the Collie project. So Collie's a $10 million trail project, which is going to see 120 kilometres of mountain bike trail, a 70 kilometre walk trail that goes around Wellington Dam, starting and finishing in Collie. So there's an awful lot of stuff that's going to go in at Wellington Dam. So Common Ground have got 5 crews working out there at the moment on the first stage of that. So I think that first stage is about a little bit under 20 kilometres.
Yep.
So we should see some of that progressively opening by mid-year, and there's some beautiful country there alongside Wellington Dam.
Yes, there certainly is.
Yeah, lovely rock scenes across the lake. It's really, really nice. So
are we going to be able to get onto rock, are you saying?
In some of those areas, yeah, for sure. There's some areas, especially where it's more disturbed. I mean, the thing about rock is that often those granites are places where there are either rare species or threatened ecological communities. And they're often places where we find Aboriginal cultural sites as well. So
right.
It's not just about don't go on rock, there's like a good reason for it often. So I know it's frustrating because people love rocks, but there are good reasons why we try and plan around not going over all of them.
That's interesting you say that. I think a lot of mountain bikers would assume that it's just risk mitigation that's keeping us away from the rock, but there's actually other things going on there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, it's nothing to do with risk. Risk we can manage by the way we build the trail and how it's rated. Yes. And people make their own choices, but it's all about nature, protecting the nature and culture of the places that you're riding. And,
right.
Somewhere like Derby, there's a lot of rock there that you can ride, but that whole valley was flooded by the dam when it burst.
Yes.
100 years before, so a lot of it just got, it's huge disturbance there. Yes.
And it was ex-mining as well, yeah. The whole valley.
So we're working in national parks in around Wellington, so we want to protect those places and make sure that the trails respect them. We'll have great trails there, but they'll be built in sympathy with the place that they are in and to highlight some of the major features. There's going to be awesome trails. I don't think we need to worry too much about that because the landscape is magnificent. I
think that's right. I used to live down in Bunbury and I always thought that area was really underrated. There's around that Honeymoon Pools, I've ridden the Sika Trail, there's some absolutely stunning bush. Yeah. We've got some of we have the largest vertical drop from top to bottom anywhere along the Darling Escarpment. That includes all the hills, yeah, all the way down from Perth. So you think there is the potential to have longer runs than you can get anywhere else pretty much in WA in that area. Yeah. And there's some good stuff, and it's interesting that you say Arklow, yeah, it was probably the easiest one to roll off and get started.
That's right.
If we were doing marketing, it might not be the one we would lead with because certainly feedback from riders has been mixed. It's old school trails and people were maybe expecting brand new trails to modern standards, to which they're built to, but more feature rich trails. But these are going to be coming in Wellington Dam. That's right. Area.
So Arklow's not Murray Valley.
No.
And so what we'll see, and the reason we started there is we had the planning well progressed when the funding came through. So we're already working with the local mountain bike club there on Arklow. So we had a lot of planning and approvals in place, and those things take time. So we're now looking at Wellington and Westralia, which is the forest just adjacent to town.
Oh, really? So talk to us about Westralia. We'll just keep on churning along. There's a lot going on in Collie, so this deserves a bit. Where is Westralia?
So Westralia is a conservation park, and it's right adjacent to town on the road back down the hill on your left hand side just before you get to Allenson. So if you know Collie, Mungalup Road goes out to Minninup Pool, that's one side of Westralia, and the Coalfields Highway is on the other, and then it borders onto Collie Town. So yeah, we're looking to get some trails in there. It's again, it's a conservation park, so we need to be sensitive about how we do that. But yeah, there's lots of really good potential in there.
It's a bit of elevation to play with there.
Yeah, well, it's funny, people don't realise the Collie River runs right alongside the town there.
Yeah. And
wraps around and goes right alongside the tourist or the scenic drive. So yeah, it's quite a valley that goes down to the river there.
Well, there's so much potential to Collie. It hasn't yet had that game changer like Murray Valley has, that really is driving people from Perth. You've got the Collie Darkan Rail Trail, you've got the Munda Biddi coming in, you've got the town trails of the Wagyl Biddi, you've got the Rays Trail, and when I rode Arklow, I think we did 30 Ks, and there was a bunch of adaptive trails that we didn't do, and we didn't do Rays Trail that day. So yeah, I'm thinking you could probably do 40 Ks easy without overlapping yourself. So it's going to, if you're training for
120 Ks a new trail,
yep,
is going to be, that'll be the most trail we've got anywhere in one spot.
At Arklow?
No, in and around Collie.
In and around Collie. Yep. So when Collie's finished, so people maybe shouldn't pass judgment just yet on Collie. Just give it some time. So 2021 is a bunch of trails. There's a bunch of people working out in the trails on Wellington Dam, which has the Pile Road trails on the other side.
Yeah, so eventually when we're done, you'll be able to ride from Wellington Dam all the way through to the Pile Road trails, which will get a spruce up as well, and then back will be around a 65-kilometre loop if you're up for that, with plenty of pretty awesome descending and climbing trails. So it'll be a kind of epic sort of trail. It'll be in that class.
Yeah, and of course you've got Welli Mills, you've got Cycle Trek, there's a whole bunch of other areas to Evedon if that comes online. So this area is going to have a lot of cycling. So maybe one to put in the back pocket, watch how it's going, and maybe plan for a visit there late 2021, I'm thinking.
Yeah, well look, I've been down there with my mates a few times, and we've had great fun riding the trails that are there now. So it just depends what you're looking for.
More the Lycra crowd at the moment?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's more cross country, I suppose. If you're looking for big descending trails, then clearly you're not going to get that at the moment.
No.
But if you want to ride some trails, some nice trails, the town is a really good town, once you get to know Collie, and the businesses are really trying hard to lift their game to meet the market. So yeah, there's stuff there now that's fine and good fun to ride.
Yep.
And people have been doing that for a long time anyway. But yeah, there'll be a lot more, that's for sure.
Oh, awesome. All right, Collie, one to watch.